Right, abusuama me na wasena me mu akwaba mfam Ashanti Media so be like video no share dia mo before na ono so anya bi etumi ahwe hu nsem a ekoso e wo man Ghana mu na ene yenim se US man no ene Iran omuntokwa no eguso a ekoso butu na ntia ebobo ba ne se sanhwe yi a globally economic wise ananse global economy no ebetimi anya nsusuaso obone pa e wo so ma na no ada Mampanyin John Mahama edikotu dwa say African countries omo embrace omo ho ahead of niama ebetumi asi ewo saa ntokwa na ekosuo no mo na eno ana nimdifo bi ede omo ano ato saa nsem no mu ebiebie nsem so a enya asem ketwa Wahab Farouk international relations officer wabiebie nsem so pa afesu Dr. George Donfey economist a ono so ede atodwa say Mampanyin John Mahama nsem a ode atodwa no no credit nanso onka hu se sɛdeɛ ɛyɛ ya COVID-19 bae a ɔde yɛ politics no saa ɛna ɛkɔba sɛ nneɛma hyɛ aseɛ sɛ ɛkɔ akyiwa a Ghanafoɔ ɛmfa nkyɛ no koraa ɔmo de aba a ɔmo de bɔ takyi no ɛno a ɛna ɔmo de bɛbɔ baa nti ɛno deɛ ɔmfa nto ne ti mu saa nso na Ras Mubarak nso so ɛde n'ano ato nsɛm no bi a ɛnya asɛm ketewa na mɛpɛ sɛ yɛbɛgye brɛ na yakwakotie discussions course no abra na na Frimpong Ziga ne womu atwitwe nkomo na omu biebie nsem so
2017 because Iran and I may attend some high level conference in Palestine. Don't forget that the friends say Iran Caribbean Palestinian issues no omo di ho akoten bebre the conference na dignitaries Mahama organized Omukope courtesy call on Ayatollah Khomeini at his office, and it was such a humbling experience for me. Na oyobia ompe violence, oyobia ompe imu, oyobia ompe defense say yesisi, and that is the basis upon which the Iranians draw their support for the Palestinian people. Now, as a matter of fact, compare violence. You look at the situation in Iran. The friend is saying Iran have had every opportunity to build a nuclear bomb. At least for the last 25 years, they've had every opportunity. And say build a nuclear bomb. But it was the Ayatollah, the late Ayatollah Khomeini, who issued a fatwa to say, or a decree, I don't know how to say that in P, say, on percent in my Iran, ever building nuclear bombs, because his view is that, look, nuclear bombs, ever. But what Iran has been doing is to build, nuclear energy. And nuclear energy, even as far back as the 60s, Ghana have run nuclear energy. And Kwame Nkrumah. And the idea of my mind be building nuclear energy. So Atata, America, Israel, they are I see it in two folds. For the Americans, the reason why Trump emphasized Trump Israel because this is clearly an Israeli war. America for I said, ono wadam for now, na wadam for no old to na watching akoboni. On the American side, Trump emphasized if na documents are above from the Epstein's files. Ebededi ama said who said because the emails that are coming from the Epstein's files are really damaging to the American president. To the extent that it's been alleged, say, as young as 14 and that. And obviously for an American president, this is, and not even an American president, but for to be accused of sleeping with 14-year-olds. This is extremely embarrassing, and so in order to deflect attention from, the Epstein files investigation by the Department of Justice, na ɛsɛ ɔmo yɛ saa etutu asɛm wɔ yi na amanfoɔ ne amansan nyinaa adwe efiri so. The Israelis saw an opportunity. For a very long time, not Israel for ever someone destroy Iran. And the reason I'm going to destroy Iran, one, Israel was a mantemu. Now, among say Krobia ever challenge you in terms of dominance, in terms of power. The only superpower, so to speak, in that region. And Krobia, I am almost sorry about Israel, Canada, na America become destroyed. Examples: Iraq, you say weapons of mass destruction since 2003. At the end of it, there were no weapons of mass destruction. It was all a pack of lies to destroy that country and to steal their oil and to sow the seeds of chaos. Secondly, you can look at Syria. Syria, oil-rich country, and the Corona Pasa. What do I say? You can even stretch
attempt to remove Assad Mala. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
You know, you could even stretch it to as far as Libya, here in Africa.
Yeah.
And Gaddafi is so powerful figure on the African continent, or promote to the unification of Africa. Libya, all under a pack of lies. I say Libya, and those of us in West Africa, we are suffering from the effects of that.
Yeah.
Because events and weapons, Tupaya, Ekoku Libya in the hands of rebels, and then some of them are finding their way in the Sahel. These are American and European and Russian weapons. Some of them are finding themselves in the Sahel, in the hands of terrorists, as far back into places like Burkina Faso, Nigeria, etc. You know, and clearly, for many years, Iran, but Iran has prepared for this war at least for 20 years.
I see.
Iran has prepared for this war for at least 20 years. Now, Iran also is ready to go a long haul. And to over the strategy of the Iranians. Americans are Americans on bases in Kuwait, in Bahrain, in UAE, in Qatar, in Jordan, and systematically, Iran is destroying all of these bases to make it impossible for America to attack them from these bases, because an attack from these bases is easier than say America for to fire all the way from Europe and now all the way from America to Iran. So they want a place that is shorter, and that is why they built all of these nonsensical bases around Iran. But clearly, you are seeing instances in the conflict that Israel is taking serious hits. Some of these hits, you will not see them on mainstream media because they are trying to hide the truth from the public. As a matter of fact, who are Israel now form a video of what is happening currently?
I see.
And so people are secretly filming and showing, some of the devastations that are happening in Israel. As I speak, I just posted a video. And who said Iran for strategically Israel. Omaya tarmac. Now tarmacs now Omaya draw fighter jets. Drawing and Omaya draw fighter jets. Our tarmac. Ama Israel fought to fire, costing millions onto the tarmac.
Sebira is going waste.
I mean, these are drawings.
I see. I see.
These are drawings, as a strategy of fooling the Israelis. Now, also, I mean, this is not to say the Israelis have not been successful at hitting, Iran. I mean, they've hit hospitals on the first day of the conflict, on the unjust attack on Iran. They attacked a girls' school that is several kilometers away from Tehran, the capital. Omoku Nkwala from the age of 9 to 14. Bakuba Nkwala, Bakuba 160. Is that how to promote democracy?
All right. But say to say the worker say there are some publicities publicity almost per se ibehu in the side of Israel for almost per se who they are hiding it. Say the best set as an agenda or propaganda as if they are winning this exchange. So do you buy the the speculation that say Benjamin Netanyahu is dead? Because according to the sources, Iranians hate his office, and Netanyahu used to give us the update of day 1, day 2 every day. He gives out an update, but since then they haven't seen him again. So people think that Netanyahu is dead. Do you buy that speculation?
Well, I mean, this has not been verified, and as a media person myself, I'm very confident, very cautious about speculations. I haven't seen any credible news source making the point that indeed, Iran for attack the office.
Yeah.
And the question to paya Iran for to Israel no. On the Iran no more old stockpile of drones and small weapons.
Yeah.
I know they are clearing those weapons.
Yeah.
I feel that more the most deadly ones that could penetrate into bunkers, causing mass destruction and all of that. What do I say? And the beating that Israel is getting in places like Haifa, Tel Aviv, and Jerusalem are serious beatings. And Takwano and for Israel.
But Osha the Gaza and Israel now. Every day we watch CNN, we have BBC, Al Jazeera, and the Sky. Every day you see Netanyahu on TV giving us updates. At a point, he turned to be a journalist giving us updates. Even this one, when they started, he gave us an update. But up to now, we are not seeing Netanyahu, and we don't know. Can we conclude that it could be something has happened? Just say, say Israel foreign person be so where could he be now?
Well, in a war situation, anything is possible. In a war situation, any serious weapons, anything is possible. It could be said he's alive and well. It could also be said he's injured and receiving treatment. It could be said he's dead. At this particular moment, I cannot independently corroborate that. And as I've said, no credible news media, has also corroborated that. But what I can say to you is that, and Tokano and for America and Israel.
Have you read? I read it from somewhere. You taught me that I read it from somewhere. And for ay3ka say that Ayatollah the first in 1979 he vowed say or prepare Israel the free world map and your man, the former leader Mahmoud, I think he also vowed that any conflict will take advantage to erase Israel from the world map through his nuclear weapon. Are you why international relations, I'm expert you are very closer to these people and all that. Have you come across this fact? As you are a journalist, if it is there, you say it. Have you heard any of this?
Well, there's something in English called rhetoric. Say only will be now also catch say mebo and there people say, even recently you've heard Trump make some wild claims that they are going to wipe off Iran and that leaders be Ombe Electiviano, they would completely deal with them. The Israeli Prime Minister has also said the same thing. What do I say? I'm not surprised, and this is normal in hostility, in hostile situation. Normally there's exchange of words. So yes, indeed, Iran has indicated through some of its leaders said they would wipe Israel off the map of the earth, and for an interesting reason. Israel attacked Albania for a very, very long time, seeking every means possible to go into a direct confrontation and war with Iran. And Iran, trust me, is well prepared. It's a country that I've visited at least 3 times. And I know the psyche of the Iranian people. They are very motivated, they are very determined. They are very anti-imperialist. What the Americans and Israelis are trying to do to impose a certain lifestyle on them. Now, Sabi, Frimpong, Nyankopon Ebo Wiase, wa mose yegyina ya adwene enkofa. There's divergence of views.
Yeah.
What do I say?
Yeah.
Now, as a result of divergence of views, Iran, almost Shia Muslims. And the population of Shia Muslims around the world is about 300 million. Yeah. So if you're a country and you've gone to create a conflict situation with, an absolute murder illegally, leader of a country, who was 86 years, who is a leader of one of the biggest religious institutions. Clearly, no.
Yeah.
And Iran has indicated that they would avenge. Just Kuna Omoku Ayatollah Khamenei, they would avenge his death. Kuna Omoku and Kolang Kete, some as young as 9-year-old, all in the name of getting Iranians to rise up and embrace democracy, Western democracy. Others say Western democracy, and ways of political governance. UK, any monarchy.
Yeah.
Morocco, any monarchy.
Yeah.
UAE, monarchy.
Yeah.
Eswatini, monarchy. Lesotho, monarchy.
Yeah.
It is a communist state, and Kokoro. Iran holds elections every now and then. They hold elections every now and then. Ahmadinejad lost an election. What do I say? There's a current president of Iran. Every now and then they hold elections. But the system system they are walking about naked.
Yeah, I get it, yeah.
A system Iran is not interested in embracing. And don't forget, a tire abba between Iran and your friend is US and Israel. How did it start? Iran had a democratically elected president in the 50s.
Yes.
And America, almost because, in their country. And I'm found they removed him, installed the king. The oppression, corruption, and at the bar, Iran, and then the people rebelled, and they had a revolution in 1979.
Yeah.
Ayatollah Khomeini, Ebedi, almost for 10 years. Natural death, and then Khomeini. And so Ebedi is from 1989 up until America for illegally.
All right. Me yenhwe sade we say. I know say say the udi kaka is incredible year. We share the Muslim community, Muslim country. About 99% of them are Muslims, and they hate some practices. Be a US for person around yadi. But tell us so. I don't know whether it was an agenda or propaganda, but we saw it on BBC and CNN, and even the Al Jazeera that report towards the Iran that some of the Iranians were jubilating, and you go outside the Iran, they are all jubilating and all that. Why do they have to do that?
Minia. Share your very say. I don't know. Omukum Papa, no, you saw the number of people who are in the streets. Ebesine. And in the use and you saw that millions of people came out.
Yeah.
All the way in every corner of Iran to mourn him. What do you say? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As a matter of fact, Prophet Muhammad, omotata to the extent say, otu free Mecca any the kromo. Otu free ho ekotena profi for me, so I free ho Medina. Onuko ye nyame komsheni no. And there are several examples of prophets who have been hounded. Not to talk about mere mortals, not to talk about your friends, political heads and religious heads. In all probability, I
see.
There will be people who and clearly the people who are opposed to the Islamic revolution and the IRGC, they are a minute figure in Iran. Majority of Iranians are solidly behind their government.
I see.
And what the Iranians are doing is to uphold the teachings of the Quran and the teachings of the Bible. Oh, Bible more Isaiah Goma, Isaiah 117. It's a call to action for social justice and righteousness. Urging believers to learn to do right, to seek justice, and to defend the oppressed. And you can read it in Tree. Or a new King James version. Also, learn to do right.
Yeah.
Also, seek justice. Also, defend the oppressed. This is the Bible encouraging people of the world, believers. And it's the same text in the Quran. And the Iranians believe that the oppression of the people of Palestine by the Israelis and the West, Omar said to defend the oppressed.
I see.
And to seek justice. If there's anyone who's on the path of righteousness, it is the Iranians. And not the imperialist Americans and the Israelis.
Okay. Mustaba, the late Khamenei, Neba, in the shortest time, the cleric. We've lost him. Okay, so that's Mohammed Mubarak, aka Ras Mubarak, is a former member of parliament, Edema Kumbugu. Leader Trans-African Tourism and Unity campaign, and we've lost him, but so Osaba better. So I wanted to ask him, say Mutaba Khamenei Neba, and he say the cleric leader no epese so no so person or see the papa anai, then he has vowed say obibia the sasha sai we are no, that person will never know peace. That person will never be safe, not even his home. And the Israel and America for vow say they will assassinate him and kill him in the short possible time. So the question that we are asking is, we are calling for this exchange to end within a week or two, so that the problems never ban descend ma se hama ye bibi ho ye ho konkokyere ye. So the question is sa ekuya ekosu ebetimi a etwa enimanimu ya aye pese yehunu ye Ghana na ye dwene ho kase because baby aka ya hyase afiri no na ke ye pa ma ye pa but baby no makeka kono they say the president Mahama aka no ansha na ankankofa asempapa amfamre in the shortest time we'll be also joined by Al Wahab Farouk is a diplomatic and investment consultant and international relations expert also join us. We stay in this escalating US Iran conflict. Okay, so before I'll go to my next speaker, no, ye hugu monte so a ye ne nkofo kokodi nkomo erefa sa asem we say ho the president Mahama akade afa ho the Iran ne US Israel for entokwa no ho ene ade Ghana for no bi eka erefa sign isese ho yenko hwem na when I come back I will introduce to you my next speaker na yatoaso.
Because it is likely to affect us. And also, Ujina was saying, Pacho.
Oh, and any quines one, no quines. Mama is a visionaire. I'll be a child who I deal with it. And me sure say, what Nancy calculating near my baby who said, no, I do it. Young here about affecting young to me. And these Africans in Penin 4 will be here one. If they can do something about it now, they should do it before it worsens up.
Santo kwa we are banedi because ebe affect ye bibiri because ye wo mwawo on my bibiri so it is all mine ko how muna say ya hwe anka ho asema ebetimi affect ye because ye kra no ma bibiri efiri ho no ba ye petrol sem so betimi affect ye entino e wo se openifo na hwe na mo ye de o mo nka ho bibi
comme 19 abaye sinde eba because I do money because petrol ye di pick gallon e ben nan kumutro akofia petrol ato nyapopon onhu ye bobo onfa yam ne sankata so ne nyina asinwem temebra
Mejuma we airport but Osha affect we juma na bia na say we daily income and say senior kind economic wise be affected but one kasa personally so Osha be affect one.
Oh, say, means say, affect me, man, cry, sir. But we will survive. With God, we will survive.
Because it is likely to affect us. And also, Ujina was saying, Pacho.
Oh, and any quines one, no quines. Mama is a visionaire. I'll be a child who I deal with it. And me sure say, what Nancy calculating near my baby who said, no, I do it. Young here about affecting young to me. And these Africans in Penin 4 will be here one. If they can do something about it now, they should do it before it worsens up.
Santo kwa we are banedi because ebe affect ye bibiri because ye wo mwawo on my bibiri so it is all mine ko how muna say ya hwe anka ho asema ebetimi affect ye because ye kra no ma bibiri efiri ho no ba ye petrol sem so betimi affect ye entino e wo se openifo na hwe na mo ye de o mo nka ho bibi
comme 19 abaye sinde eba no because I do money because petrol ye di pick gallon e ben nan kumutro akofia petrol ato nyapopon onhu ye bobo onfa yam ne sankata so ne nyina asinwem temebra
Mejuma we airport but Osha affect we juma na bia na say we daily income and say senior kind economic wise be affected but one kasa personally so Osha be affect one.
Oh, say, means say, affect me, man, cry, sir. But we will survive. With God, we will survive.
All right, we Ghana for Enubinuma. You call a Montesoni or Mukudin Komo, a share or margin, a far US, Israel, Iran conflict, and say, noma ɛkɔ so no sɛ daakye betumi aba abɛhete yɛmu bi mu a yɛwɔ yɛfrɛ sɛ Africa ha se anasɛ Sub-Sahara region no. Now I remember that President Mahama went to Tanzania when on Tanzania ɔmanpanyin ɛkasa no in his speech and made us to understand say the African countries should brace themselves for economic shocks and wakase it's likely say oil bɛkɔ soro ɛbɛma ka iska kɔ soro ɛbɛma bia ɛbɔ bɛyɛ den and I said normal ɛmu bɛsa ayɛ den kakra so we should pray. I mean, exchange, you know, intimate travel beyond 3 weeks and all that. So that is that. On the line, I have Dr. Justice lawyer Justice Abudlai, a law lecturer, School of Law, our UPSA. Said thank you very much. We're live on Kesben TV, DSTV channel 364, and Go TV channel 121. Now, this is what the president has said. We think say the economy no and kabebi adan kwasha se dia fino na keye because economic indicators no at least it's far better than let's call it 2024. And now, if the economy is a resilient, why do we have to fear?
But I say be say Oma me kwan ma me dia ba FD so na samre ene Ghana fu na enya edim komo isame ebe bo say ye be kai say Ghana ene amani do na no ye no crude oils so come do Nasha, ye can't pa no, ye Rollins a man, say Nanka, ye could really budget, no be a position, say, could really budget Anna, ye Tiasia, teach you pa, Nesse, ye could really budget near Cotutum.
Yeah.
Is answer no very budget, Simon, the test in say, baby, Simon and near to petrol. Iti tambia no bia bi no se ka se ko ri budget asa na asechira ne se ye ko tutu petrol na ma ne ma so bo akosro enti ne ma taxi san se obi adwuma bi e wodi bia no fa ngo ho isan se bi o so obako adwuma o de car na beko de okọ de okuya ye on ekuani on okọ na fum o de car na abobo ya de nneema yi ba be fa nneema de akọ na de ne beko saa so na nneema wo kwa akotokra enuro ni ade akọ akoto no okota ni okoto afiri no so be ka kire ne se se ya to petrol mu ya to oyo munti ama ne nneema so bo aye de enti ana abrofo ta friends that trickling effect opie no the sense to bibi
hello lawyer. Yeah, lawyer, and your picture, everything is all right, but it looks like it sounds like it's a way you need distorted kakra. If you can reposition yourself, kakra be. Yeah, it's clear. Now go ahead.
That's it. It's not the American question is. Economy mu no ye mai mu de economy mu de obia na sha ase ne na wiye ejina oil ene gas so isa eno nti no se obehwe a ye to petrol mu se bi sreko kra afeto obia na nya na mama ne se ye te so bia enye obia ne nya ho fa so ti so mo ka ene mo a o no to petrol direct Mukwan, the Tinya San Fasono, Municas, no, Sansa, or Cofa, Trotro driver, Simon, or better and say, Nya Petrum, one a man, a man, Yama Bocosro. Nancy, your tomb, dear, your tomb now automatic Abacosro, and on any Anna, Ara Kakaway, Sansa, Anna Tembia, and beginning, then you walk as a mine. Tembia, PCC, says, but Bonsi, Sribia, Nese. Yemia Akenja will be watching into the Tebia yesterday. Indeed, so my penny ash boys up on the say, Yem more boy won't see ya. Na the new criminal say, baby, I say, I can send to Quasi or we, Iran. Omona Omukro no Susuna, if we are say oil and you now, put through the dear to now one and number. omukro so na nam se meka se omukro so na nam a mintimu se motene kan ya
yeah better kapa go ahead
hello
yes go ahead
se meka sa se meka se omukro so na nam a omonukro no so no omo de control baby a mefa se ye che ewiase oil and gas ye che mu be numa emu ba ko de omonukro so na fa so ansa na ko ewiase afa na nyina hosusu sesi a ntokwa city no mo so ma block sa kwan no omo ma obi anfa ho bio enti automatically it means fanwa ebeko ewiase afa na nyina ba bi se ko pe ba bi na afa enti me no ka say for instance China for omode containers a China for the oil and gas here they ekwaba na nyina no me no ka say see ne bo no double say see kane no na nka okuta $200 million obetimi afa container ba ko nka betimi de akwaba say see me no ka say China okwa akodu $400 million
yeah
and some what me de akwaba eno no ye ne bo no kra no ne bo no so say ye ba oil and gas na nka so bo no asesia no nyansa ntoko na be chance ne nam $60 barrel bia bo sesia me no ka say eno so edwetwam 100 ntoko kra nyanko na bi afekwa na asha ase it is wo mampani sebio na sonda form no hwe akiri na so waka tro se semia niema ekono ye nyina ye mobo ehunsie sanse niema betimi asesa ama ye nyina na emse esi hunse sa mampani no na adwene mu do nti wo boye ye nyina wo kai se nyina mo eho no na nyansa sem no waka kire nti se nyina ye mempa ebo mu yede ni e bobo e so sie isa se nyam pa bonko a ne de kwa ko o de pa bodi wenim na se ya ka nyina no enje djuma o be kwa san ba
I see. I come. I'm about to ask you a last question now. Masweshe Babame announces Dr. John Domfe is a development economist, Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research at University of Ghana is with us, and of course, Al Wahab Farouk is a diplomatic and investment consultant and international relations expert has also joined us. So, lawyer Yansha Sari, before I go to them, no, Yansha Sari will say, "Oman Penini as a one can." Temdodo adi we say enkon kofa se fear and panic enfama arentina nke bia on my kono kakra and I said the exchange ni ko nanim kakra na nke ehunu se ke baby adu no de e bia na kono ababedi nyini aye stable, so there's nothing bia we can do about it. Nebia wa make this announcement no, rather than say quickly we are just a 5 days old exchange na or kasa adi we say
that's the breed. Say, of Mampeni, F.A.S. F2 Wokan, Natchez not wa Mwabway no an hour, wa Mwabway in I am for sa near Yanri a bit messy. So we're here, if you are suffering Obia one who's here, in fact, a Dudona shall see and suffer and of an chassis.
Yeah.
It is also a chairman to Conasha answer. The Conasha say we are. We a quaint now the Babon, a new hobby, something nature. Ain't he said you the not dono or no Tambia or Bob one who see why no such a dear.
Yeah.
Tambia Onama Nanka or Kra, no Bibia, should to my son say, Bibia bet messy.
Yeah.
It is a Bob one who see, Nasa, a could do Nase near senior Usuno, Manesa, what the young wants to say, Manesa, so never they sell a target. What a day, the son say, one son as I may drew on. In Tinian Semundi, Oboa, who see, Wabo among for my son say, Eddie, you are sort of about Yenina so directly. So, Casso can not do some and Nasa, some pension, or Casso among for say, why near bedding to Mumwa, one here, not and Tiasian shut up. My son said, who now the any kind, who now your man penalty, if he said, who no, as a woman, or so we are saying, Manana, now what boy, I am na sɛbi uniɛsi yɛ nso yɛ na wɔn anka nkyerɛ wɔn na yɛ fiti prɛko pɛ a wɔsi yɛ bi a mɛka sɛ nyakopɔn fasa ama wɔsi atoto nneɛma mu sɛ deɛ sɛ nneɛma kɔ sɛ amɛba sa ɛka sɛ kapima mi nka bia ne participatory democracy a wonya saa deɛ ne san sɛ me anka ɛsɛ mɛboa wɔ n'ase kɛsɛ mɛto asɛm yɛ deɛ yɛyɛ no wɔn nyima dwene ɛna wɔn amama ante ase sɛ ne yɛkɔ ni enti sɛ me nso ma ante ase deɛ na mɛnya deɛ sɛ me nso mɛpɛpɛ ama ne yɛkɔ so okay sɛ ma me ma mfa to ho bi yɛhwɛ deɛ ɛsi okoko sector sɛ si akoko akuafo nyinaa no bu afusi atete nneɛma so nanso mehu ne sɛ nneɛma a ɔmo ate atehwɛ a nteɛma ɔmo mpene so nyinaa ne because yɛ moma ante ase ahyɛseɛ no sɛ nneɛma nkɔ yie ɛsiane sɛ kɔdi gu akora yɛne ɔmo na nkɛpere soɔ ɔmo deɛ ɛte pɛnkɔ ɔmo deɛ ne ɔmo pere so da biara ɔmo no koraa no kookoo sɛ Ghana ni kookoo bɛtɔ Cote d'Ivoire fo kookoo mmienu ɛso ɔmo no ɔmo nte ate sɛ ɔmo ate ase ɔmo agye atom sɛ ampa ne deɛ no ɛsiane sɛ yɛdi kan ma ɔmo yɛhyɛ ɔmo saa ɛnsɛm nyinaa ne yɛkyerɛkyerɛ ɔmo asɛm
ma ɔmo te ase yɛdi kan psyche ɔmo
te ase ansa na yɛbɛduru no ɔyɛ deɛ ne deɛ minister in fact dodoɔ no adwene mu koraa no ɔmampani koraa mmom ɛyɛbɛtum adeɛ no a deɛ asɛm aba obiara te ne deɛ so no yɛdeɛ deɛ ne yɛ ɛsɛ sɛ ɛbɛtum nti saa no nti na ɛbɛboa sɛ ɛtɛ bia ɛbɛboaboa ɛho asie.
All right, thank you very much. Lawyer Gina Sumami, don't go yet. We take a last bite, but let me go to Dr. Jordan Fena in the next 10 minutes. So, Doc, you were economist. Baby, I said the macroeconomic indicators, a boy and kama. Yes, baby, an inflation war before the election, and inflation in drop one or drop with this inflation they call 3 point something. And Ghana Statistical Service as I announce so say inflation as I drop more. The food inflation I drop exchange rate, blah 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 blah. You take care of everything. Our foreign reserves, everything. Your GDP, ICD 100 billion. Baby, and Kiasha free the Nankeye. But you as economist, if you are to advise the president to say, Sa Ebia, at rent me a person a hiti, I'm you go back to baby and Nankeye peno. We are economist, a dear Dian and Kabe catch on my penny and premium ye seki.
Yo, Minia Bema, Mamina was it. Now, Minchia a T4. Na menchia lawyer me hu wacha paa o freunia asema ye mampanyin John Dramani Mahama de atodwai say yen hwe hu yie na in the next few days nsema ene ese Middle East broni beka say betimi anya adverse consequences on our economy and I betimi anya esuboni bi ama economy Many are doing 100%. The interim many are doing say the economy the fundamentals are very weak. The fundamentals have remained weak since 1957. You ensure that more brebia. To me, ya your high is smart, this is smart. Ya na eme hiche bibia. You ensure that more brebia. And I no kasay the bedie, the ebenum, the dibefla. Do na ya kwa manone and ya kwa kokra. So you can once there were regulations and I know say on a good day on average Ghana you can produce 173,000 barrels. You are near Sessa, a binino, the friend crude, yeah, the Quaman on any acotonic. Near Sessa I mean, Kente, near the cock, I mean, outside the near Quacoto, Efio. NJB acquired the Holland, Nana Cocoto. Show, and Kawada say, I'm your classy. Na umami akwa fuma ko tubanchi umami odema me mami amado na wako afumu ko tubanchi na wa de banchi ni nyina ko sunyane na wako akotone na oba na okoku masi akoto fufuo. I mean that's exactly what Ghana is doing. We are not serious. So enu na yemu bi yakaka say yenya politics never politics no tonche na yema amanchi kira no hia. Oh, you solution to our problem. The solution to our problem is that you better encourage industrialization. Agricultural sector and the real sector. Yen bebrebe na me nua yi kasa sisi a China. we have one container through the Baha and a bono costo. And no crack 2022, the same thing they see, you know. A copasea, ya na insurance na shape on the fan name the fat insurance. No, a hoodie costo. Oh, the insurance na shape no, you bet you are there fast shape wako fan man. Sanka your factories like a sebe or Ghana. And they produce an yema we are. Common toothpick, Yaquaman on it, na Yaquakoto, near the be yesim. Ye we are not a try a debate this one, a yaman on it. I could not cry at this one, ye did no, Nina, Yakokra, a Biania, ye did Indomie, Yakok. Answer, young boy, or my assassin, or maybe beyond or may Yansan. Yanni Yansan, Yapasia de Bois, Afufro, ma Omuma ye, at the detriment of our own development. It did not be big Pacabia Bestiam and Onibiano. Immediately, now Abe affect him. Nana Kufado, or the idea 96 months. So 96 months, no. The first 61 months are Odidi idea, and Nema Koyepa. So inflation here came, Obedi idea, and 15.4% December 2016. Otimi born home modern Emma inflation, no, you go through September 2019, na 7.6. Emma na ni kanema ye pa na COVID ba ye nyina ye nim niema boy ye dene. Emma factories shut down. Enti amano ne kra no ukosta ukoto ade a na mienu na opa ne ama baako. Enti there was what became known as global supply crisis. Yeah, Emma niema boy ye dene. Emma inflation e kosuru koduru 13.9%. January 2022, near 13.9%. Satmana, Russia-Ukrainian crisis in the you know. The effect and the impact of COVID-19 is a PK inflation from below 8%, a pushy at the 13.9%. Because now, and near mana a free, I'm an boy, especially a dear boy, deeper at that time. No, say, me come on a cockra, and near mamba, nane buono, say, na mitria. I'm an only boy because I'm kind because of the global supply crisis in the boy. This time not abano or a cancer COVID. Now I'm a boy. Now I'm NDC then in opposition because it was because of incompetence. Then I am in one waka cranny said, Dolly, a jina fakwa January 2017, now $1. A 4 cities 20 pesos. By January 2022, 61 good months. Now dollar ne 6 cities 20 pesos. Now we share your back customer. Now we share exchange rate data. Now who say one of the period that CD a born home or pa ewo amansan sika so the friend international trading and currencies no so. These 61 good months no. Now exchange rate was an issue. In January 2022, OPE 10 million US dollars. Ewo bank the bema because na common and just na about 11 so call bank na pa e de obre pa so what I say santa me dey na ehu ye eno na ye kowura February 2022 and Putin eso akon wo Ukraine so immediately no e ma petrol boy the date na man ba because hitherto no na Russia produce a supply 10 million barrels of crude oil a day into the global market. Now, almost share entokwanas no muja production. Eti ema petrol hu na. Ema petrol no born ye dina kokodu $121. Akunu maye no January 2022 now 1 barrel $72. E kosura kokoduru 121. Cost of production kosuru Europe. Enti Oman bi say Germany or recorded the highest inflation in 70 years. United States of America recorded the highest inflation in 40 years. UK, highest in 40 years. China, everywhere in the world, inflation went up. Now, and I'm sorry, Suntino. Ghana near all quacotonos and all the $1 and the cotton now $2. $2, that's all better free Ghana. Till the beginning of the year, the Bank of Ghana had 9.9 billion US dollars and then I want to reserves. But the company said, near my boy, pressure bar. $1 no so net demand for dollar no double no immediately next Bank of Ghana supply more dollars. The Bank of Ghana shall say supply dollar no supply e go do July now $1 8 cedis 20 pesos now Bank of Ghana see can yasa into so be August September October Bank of Ghana and me am just want me supply am dollar no say the esen ko ye this that time no dollar it free ye hu ye na ye that's why na $1 could do 70 cedis I mean on the forex market that time no obi okasa e biase it was Baumian's incompetence. In fact, today's president Yewra John Dramani Mahama, he wasn't charitable to Yewra Bawumia. Some kind say I have heard was one of the funniest things I have heard. And he said they are attributing the current economic crisis to global effect. Just as there, yes, there is some back one. Yemen Penin, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, then as opposition leader, also what say any sasam. You need to say you can cry. As far as you are concerned, Sami Jemfi, any other people, communication director for NDC. But can say it won't almost two, you know, almost two. I mean, Russia, Kosovo, Ukraine, so they be Magana. We should shut up. We need to be very careful. So all this is SC baby. What has changed? And I didn't answer. Engineers will be to a say Ghana is immune. A BBS here, it will no more to know Iran. Na it will no call any biswa call Lebanon, Ebia call Israel money other day, Ebi Maha. But who can say? Omu bekan say, and me no munya ageni. Said the many NDC for anya ageni no. Mamuza me MPP for no biswa has ya uko social media omu ye. I don't agree with them. Say ye po se kobase nyame amwa. That's the next window. The next window is about 15th March. You best out to petrol. The petrol almost every 2 weeks be to petrol. Your next window no. Se kodru ho. Let's akon da gusua. Minim say MP will have no other option but to agree with the ONCs for them to increase fuel prices. Now we increase fuel prices na minua eka obi na me aminua lawyer Abdullah no ka say oma eka ayi oma fa ka na 17 year wo so omo de nka omo na oma se petrol no ba form a oma eka omo pa omo nyamfa so ye omo ka lawyer dabi eka obi a o petrol no bo no nya ba form a woni de ete se petrol no cost se pe ye beto to kan nyina mu se atoto kan mu na woni ka obefa ka obepia se obi ko mikro mu dem na se be okoto banche abetone na banche ne kra ye de chena o de banche ne befa ka adobafo beje kasika enti obeduru krom ha se obetone banche no na banche no bo no kasika nkwan ya age no otone no fo a enye ye gise otone abo de ne sawati ase enti obi a oni ka oni onfa ka onya hwe no anya kra no obekodwom se onso okoto bibi obekona bo no ekosoro e will ripple effect inya because the economy no is so weak any shock absorbers what's the car o te car mu there's a car no e was shock absorbers I want am kwaya nya so kra na onte the Ghanaian economy is without shock absorbers because you said that more human body bia more bra bia and the shock absorbers ni weak ti bibi kakra bi asi amanone a e positive e kan ye papa e negative so e kan ye na nsem mu ye about 2 years ago an ounce of gold na $1,700 and then a twamu 6,000 and then it say more inflows of dollars through gold the merchandise gold export on edisika abraye pa Bank of Ghana sunsa case can be no and then on average every month be a Bank of Ghana dey about $1 billion and otuguma na e dey na wasi di na nya hodene na enkrofo bi kwa de brebo almost be the fiscal consolidation and this are we aba make a say nya no kre nya fiscal consolidation doctor Bank of Ghana excessive intervention because the spokesperson for the vice president Professor Amikale many TV so is a master enya fiscal consolidation be a Bank of Ghana na $2 gun Bank of Ghana jana see the university and no na positive effect you know gold you know US trade war you know ama US dollar as a foreign reserve currency in form until the attention is on gold people are demanding gold now gold price is cost and only positive implication and exchange rate
thank you very much dog you take a second bite let me go to Mr. El Wahab, Farouk, you wait for me because me na dia na me person be bizarre say if you were to advise the president in what will it be the advice that we give to the president? You bet me iron no be just to prevent anything be a very devastating for be here.
Na sama kan ni nyina
dia na wo kan politics ya de ye mrebi any baby na ade ne wa ya dane yani
but I say real sector no agricultural sector and then the industrial sector no e say ye me ani koso pa say de be ya ne ma bebebe a ye be kwa no ne akofa no ya ha eno ne shock absorbers na no akoba sa na BBC amanone a enkai papa me ma can quickly say me ya adwuma was Center for Social Policy Studies enye yi say
okay sorry yeah okay dog we so just mama don't go onu be my lawyer Abdullah Munyasmame. Now I have Mr. Al Wahab is a diplomatic investment and consultant, international relations, expert on the line. So we say thank you very much. Now, say baby ababe duni ayedanyane ya Muktaba Kamani the late Ayatollah Kamani neba ana ye trese ahwe animu ya no ono na obaba be lead Iran say cleric for ne jinu tumwa any adia but wa vow say omo a omo she sa almost spark this conflict, they will never be safe. Even their home, they will never be safe. Wakasa say we say, and the Israel ne America for an area say, per what the guy said, no, they'll make sure say on be eliminating and menu. Sa ekuyi and I say exchange. They say we should not call it a con. No more say exchange. And then we con level. Baby, do you think say? I do say a bit to me. And you bet me a maybe in the 2 to 3 weeks time, and I say you think say a bit me a travel far.
Okay, Mami Chief.
Yeah.
Well, the status of the troubles, and I say the first hitter is the America and Israel. I think they themselves are saying that it may take you 5 weeks. Before say maybe operation. Therefore, we know we are dealing with a situation of military operation or situation of military action.
Yeah.
If it is military operation, it means that President Trump has not got the constitutional and the congressional backing to escalate it into invasion and a war. And it's in his own mind, or say it take 5 weeks. But then on which estimations, on which basis, on which evidences, and our data ban not even you 5 weeks. And any military operation that extends even 3, 4, 5 days, it is a full-blown near war. It's no more a military operation. Military operation under normal circumstances is done within a day. It's done within one target. It's done within 3 days. It's done within 4 days. But consistently, continuously sustaining in the air of the Arab airspace and for that matter Iranian airspace, engaging in an area war, area warfare, area battlefield. Let's say take 5 weeks. 5 weeks is not a military operation.
I see.
5 weeks means that America must now and will now by that time be prepared to touch on the ground. And that if they are touching on the ground, that will be an invasion. And the moment that they start to invade, the invasion would escalate into war. So it's not something that is to end today. It's not that something to end tomorrow. You bear in mind, say, so I can't say 5 weeks. Let's all area bombardment.
Hello, sir.
They are not.
Hello, sir. But I want to come in just a minute now. What was so? You can invasion now. What's the difference between airstrike and say almost far forward? Because you say be America for do aeroplane and I say fighting jet echo Iran. They have invaded Iran. And what is the difference? So when I'm from Kwane invasion.
Let me tell you, terminology in this regard, in this side, in this event. When they are doing area bombardment, America sanctioned themselves. I afraid BBC said unilateral decision taken by America and Israel without resort, without anything from UN approval, without any country's approval. They, in China, you can say, against international law. They have gone into the space, gone into bombardment operations. That one is a violation of the international law. You may term it as invasion or they've invaded Iran. They haven't invaded Iran yet. They have gone to Iran, according to them, to conduct a military operation. And then I'm telling you, said the military operation in this regard is signaled. And it said, they are going there to do something special. That makes it either action or operation. Typical case scenario, Obama, he went to Abu Dhabi in Pakistan, which is the Pakistan area and territorial zone, flying over Afghanistan. So when they went over Afghanistan, under the radar, without informing Pakistan, they went there to conduct an operation just to go and kill Osama bin Laden.
I see.
So that was an 4 hours was needed for that operation. They do they finish, they leave. That is military operation. Another case scenario, Russia and Ukraine. Russia conducted a military operation to rescue Ukrainians on the Donbass region. Ukraine, who were saying that they want them to be Russians. And then Ukraine says that we will not let you go because the frontier, the demarcation, the border, it enclaves you, and then you are within. So Russia tried to go and do military operation and was able to bring 900,000 on one day back to Russia and give them citizens.
I see.
Then Ukraine retaliated, and Russia told them to stop. They said they would not. So they were fighting back to bring their citizens. That time it was operation. But when Russia got angry, then they started that if Ukraine does not stop it, they will invade the whole Luhansk and then the whole Donbass region. So then they enter on foot, they're on the ground fighting. That's why they are invading to go and do something worse. But when they were resisted and they met with artillery fire and the Ukrainians were prepared for them to resist the invasion, then Russia moved to the third stage of declaring war. So you first start with military operation, then when it becomes where you go invasion, and then war. Another typical case scenario, Saddam Hussein and Kuwait. The might of Saddam Hussein at the time in 2003, and Kuwait, a tiny country, they did not do any military operation. They invaded the country by moving all their tanks that they were going in to take, Kuwait, swallow them. That is when American came in. So that one is invasion. So I'm just explaining to you for the public to understand that President Trump cannot invoke invasion as we speak because he needs that approval from the Congress. And Congress is very adamant and reluctant so because they said there's no justification before them, and they don't see any nuclear threats posed to them presented by President Trump. But as an executive president of the United States of America, the operation, one of them is arresting of Maduro. They didn't invade Venezuela. They went into military operation to go and pick Maduro and leave. So you get a differences now. So now America going area bombardment. Now President Niggas a bit take 5 weeks. Then some of us who understand this dynamics, we have a reservation say, I didn't more because one, 5 weeks bombardment, it means you are not going to destroy only military camps, military arsenals, suspected area of military holdings, but rather, so bombarded as they are doing now, it's a distraction area fight. What did distract it or say the country, and that's what nipa. Because you cannot say Waba, not Kaneshi. Now also suspect is a military camp or a woodom cemetery. Certainly when you are blowing that place into pieces, even the debris alone, and then in the area surveillance, any reconnaissance flights now on the Namsoro, or thousands of miles away, and things they see, they are satellite, what is called satellite images. Some are pinpointing. It be a real case scenario. It be a dummy because Iranians, you know, esu timi shishe kuro, esi ho, in a military camp. Won't a bibia wom, rubber, cartoons, any American for yebi, Israel for yebi. So whilst you are targeting that thing, say it looks like a military camp, no? Over to grenades, any detonators, who feels a attack military camp, but no dummy. But the real camp is underground somewhere. So United States and Israel, as we speak, their concentration based on the Mossad intelligence on the ground, at least they have a fair knowledge of where they are going, the target and where they are, because they are very much on the ground. You can use the word invaded means that at the time only the intelligence, that Israeli Mossad intelligence, they have invaded Iran before this action, meaning that they have gone underground and they've been able to master and then get to know where Iran has all what military capability. And that is the evidence and the data America for the issue. Now, fast forward. There is the situation on hand. They are fighting. They are fighting exchanges. But you and I know we face realities. Say America firepower area, and then the Israeli firepower area with ground Mossad intelligence. Yes, Iran may do well, but it is a bit difficult. But here is the case, says America saw sustaining area bombardment for virtually 5 weeks. Let's now come into cost analysis in military operation. Number one, America, they can move the destroyer vessels, and they call the southern Bahrain port. I don't know the supply to the Arabian Peninsula. Where are those? Frontline states now or interface or border with Iran on the Persian Gulf and also the Arabian Peninsula, Arabian Gulf, Arabian Sea, and as I call it, the Gulf of Oman. That particular strip, Saudi Arabia, or actually, the countries are almost facing Iran, and so the Chem or the Iran. Which one are those? The northern tip of Kuwait, or Bahrain, or Qatar, or UAE, and or Oman in the ocean near Yemen. Some countries in the next border of Iran is Iraq, a land border at the top, because Iraq and Ankasa is landlocked, only sea. And then the next border, Israel also has a border with Syria in the north, and then Lebanon close to it. And to look at the dynamics of Israeli flying from Tel Aviv base, or Hebron, or wherever. So if we Tel Aviv base, now Assad, a president of Syria, no, they wouldn't have access to fly over Syria air base, Syria space. It's not money difficult. And if they are to also shuttle out or shoot out artillery from Tel Aviv, it's 1,500 kilometers away to Tehran, into TB, but to may say a lot. But now, no, and it's no more orchestrating force so yet, it's be pushing them to Assad as a president of Syria, because they planned and premeditated, knowing what they were going to do. So Assad is no more in the system. And then Lebanon, only army, I won't do even 2,000, 3,000 crowd. And the Lebanese army is the weakest in the region. So Israel flies there to the airspace of Iran from the north over Iraq. Now we are starting to say we feel at the platform, heading towards Tehran. So what they do is that they have deactivated Iraq radars. They have deactivated the radar of Syria and then Lebanon. So they are having a free flow to quickly get to the airspace of Iran. I want to know air pretty free. Then the Americans are in the middle belts. The middle belts in the one pressure no. One, Bahrain or sea so. Only Iran will border. UAE, Dubai or Emirates only also will border with sea so. And Osani Oman will border with sea so. And Osani Qatar will border with sea so. So the Americans' bases, Baku or Bahrain, the port of Bahrain is used by Americans. Oman down south, our port, America control our port, our base. And our base, our Dubai, call it Emirates border and so. And also our base, as you saw, your friend is saying, Qatar. And you look at it from this angle, and Sana Omachino is where Saudi Arabia is comfortably sleeping. And then down Saudi Arabia is the Yemen. So when the Yemen side of the Arabian Sea, and when the Arabian Sea give way to the Red Sea, over Egypt, after that edge, and Sana the Mediterranean Sea, as well as after the top, after Europe, after the top, after Atlantic to come to West Africa. So this is the dynamic, the geographical outlook. In the American for, and I'm saying almost launch from those frontline states of 5 for now. That angers Iran. So if Americans are there, then we are putting pressure on the country. Also for you to either ask the Americans to go. Something Iran knows, say it will be an extremist approach. Because at no given point can Bahrain tell America, say, Uncle, they've been there for more than 60 years. Saudi Arabia, America have been there since 1946. They've been in Jordan waters. They've been in all those Arabian Peninsula. And Iran is aware. But at that time, Iran did not have any issue with America. The issue was even to do with Yemen and when the American claims the enemies. At that time, America claims that the extremists called the hooligans, the Arabian hooligans, the jihadis, their target was to break down the Kaaba, the Mecca. So therefore, impression given to Saudi Arabia over the years, and he said, America guided Saudi Arabia protecting the Kaaba against enemies' invasion or enemies' destruction. And then America for Nyakwaya, British for ye base, America ye base, Iraq. But let us not get confused here. America was once an Iranian ally. In the 80s, Israel had been an Iranian ally. In the 80s, the two of them were allies when Iran and Iraq were fighting. Then over the period, after the Iran-Iraq war, then America circumvented and turned around and became an ally of Saddam Hussein. America they were allies of Saddam Hussein. So in no time, following change of regime in America, from Jimmy Carter, about Bush Sr., from Bush Sr., about Clinton, from Clinton, about Bush Jr., Bush Jr. the Obama, Obama the Putin one, Obama the Lazy Joe aside the Putin. So there have been a consistency change of U.S. foreign policy as far as how to deal with the Mediterranean region. But the whole issue had been the Israel factor of Hamas and the Israel factor of Iran supporting Hamas. And that is a whole complexity of the whole fight, originating. Interestingly, in 1987, Hamas was formed. Hamas was formed with the assistance of the country called Israel. And America was aware. At that time was PLO, Palestinian Liberation Organization. That Palestinian Liberation Organization was Yasser Arafat. And the Israelis didn't want to have a two-state affair. It's a two-state affair. And Yitzhak Rabin in 1994, 1993, and the big handshake with Clinton, 1994 preparing grounds for them to have a two-state. And on November 4th, Omkukuno, Yitzhak Rabin. 9 years later, and Yasser Arafat should be weird. So this pampered baby of Israel called the Hamas was at that time based in Qatar, Doha. And Qatar, Doha has the presence of United States Army, and they have a base.
Right.
So ask yourself, how come by America, not Hamas, 2012, or formed the Hamas party in Doha? And at that time, Hamas party was formed. The organization that was formed in 1987 by Yassin. That time, it was Israel. They funded them because they wanted them to disrupt Yasser Arafat's political intentions. So, or liberation, or states, at the Palestine. And Yasser Arafat and the Hag, or the Hamas, or no, it was Palestine against Palestine. That was the fight.
Okay.
Israel didn't start fighting Palestine. They were fighting the Palestine, Hamas and PLO. They were the fighters. And the Hamas were being resourced and supported by the Israeli Mossad. Now, PLO, Palestine, we need ports. And the port that is there in West Bank is controlled by Israel. And Equina Omofaso, Etutu Corona Sinina, again, equipment. All right. That issue of complexity of the formation of Hamas. Our no turn against Israel as one farmer, and then the heat in by. Then they know. Sorry?
And then the Abedu after now, yeah.
And Iran at that time, because Iran was ally of America and Israel, Iran was resourcing Hamas on Doha in Qatar. And until like China, Oma ye mosquito, and I'm one and woman. Then they were telling their ally, Iran said, Onja Hamas and resources. And then Iran and Hamas now, they had what is called another organization called Hezbollah.
All right.
So
all right, sir. Yeah, all right. So thank you very much. Let me give you 30 seconds to wrap up. Let me call Dr. Don Ferhorn for the last 3 minutes now. You can wrap it up. Say.
So I would suggest, yes, we don't have much time. So the originality or the inception or the beginning of this fight, what I'm trying to say is that President Trump has put America and the world in a fix.
Yeah.
Because the military operation and action cannot. And if you are sustaining, say, and the cost of a fight, area fight a day, runs into billions of dollars.
Wow.
Because who use F-22, F-35, who use launchers, who use interceptors, and also use ICBMs. One ICBM is more than $2.45 billion. Send who release it. It is also sustaining area fight called operation for 5 weeks. American defense budget will be exhausted.
All right.
And if it is exhausted, President Trump has to go to Congress and seek for invasion. Invasion means that the 40,000 contingent, 2 vessels on the Gerald R. Ford, and then USS Abraham Lincoln, and the USS Cole, and all the 12 vessels in our region. You are not telling the boys to now moving on the ground. And
all
that's
right.
Where the issue is.
All right. Thank you very much. I may call Jordan for, but Dr. Jordan for, but just a 30 seconds. Does it mean say military operation? The American president does not need to take approval from Congress, but invasion there when you approval. That's what we're saying, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So thank you very much.
Yes, they don't.
Yeah.
You
all
don't
right.
need this.
Thank you very much. So Dr. Jordan Fair, Mame for the last 2 minutes in for Mame, you say we just watch a facha me. Mame for the last 2 minutes in the now, you say baby ya baby dini. Uche Mr. Farouk Wahaba. Train say I don't know. It's a 5 weeks in America for Nakano. And now they beat me. And they say NPF for us. I'm at say the oil was Siano. Bet me sustain for just 5 weeks, 3 days, which is 1 month, 3 days. So, baby, you know, my man 2 minutes never wrap it up, mommy. Hello, Dr. Donfe.
Yeah, hello, Minia.
Just a minute. Now you wrap it up, Mr. Adaroma.
Yo. Yeah, a lot of food. You want to you could tell them
last minute, I found 1.5 minutes. Now you found points to see I time now so.
Yo, me and Bema, Mamma, now I say, opportunity out the man, and me Becassa, and I make answer you, John Dramani, Mamma, some more coming in the yard, drink, no crest say, I'm one pie, Nesse, and near man, AC war, medalist, you know, say a top also cock a cra. Echekakra ebe affected petrol bob pa petrol boss yet na zedi nim no ebe affected bibia banche kra ikutu ne fomu ba no ebe affected no ekobasa asetena mu ebe ha adwen pa nti yemo mpai se ensem na ekokoso no ebia adwobro beba ama niema akọ boko na American stars na me she Ghana aban kran se yemo modern set shock absorbers na ye libi no ye bepe bia because shock absorbers agricultural sector ni kwase didi agro yem fa abef kwa so nya agricultural sector ni nya se de bia ye bedi ye be no jisi akokra ye factories ye jisi factories bebrebe na ye nya ma ne bebrebe se ti ye nya ma bebrebe one ye create just our people afa no BBC amanone a ebe kan ye kra enka ye bum se ya na e kan ye.
Thank you very much.